Hey everybody, it's been a little bit. We got another video working on the ZJ today for you, but before we jump into that, I just wanted to say, thank you to everyone who has reached out about Hurricane Helene and if we were okay and if we needed anything. We had so many people from the off-road community reach out to us and ask us if we needed anything, if they could bring us anything, if they could come help us do anything. It's been so crazy to see the support. Matt's Off-Road Recovery, supporting our area, Built Different Garage, all the Bleepin' Jeep even reached out, Casey Highlights. I mean, all these people who I've gotten the opportunity to know and become friends with, all these people. It's been so cool to see the off-road community come together and support the area that we live in. We're okay. We were lucky and blessed enough to not be a part of the brunt of that storm. But there are places, just 10 minutes down the road from where I'm standing right now that literally don't exist anymore. They are devastated. People lost their homes, their vehicles. Some people lost a lot of their family. So it's definitely, it's the worst thing that I've ever seen happen to the state of North Carolina. So if you would like to help, you can donate to this link right here, 828strong.com. That is a link set up by our local church that we attend, and it is going directly to people in this community. Food, water, basic needs, all that stuff. And in the future, it's going to go to more long-term needs like people who've lost their homes, people who've lost their cars, people who have, their lives have been uprooted, their businesses have been destroyed. If you want to help, that's a great way to help. I'll put the link down in the description below. But I just wanted to say it was super cool to see the off-road community come together. Anyways, we'll get back to working on the ZJ. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody for being so awesome. See ya. All right, it's on all fours. So we've got front tires on, rear tires are on. I've got the fenders cut up front. I didn't cut them in the rear. I'm going to later, but for now it can roll around. I'm going to try to get this to where we can drive it at least around the block today. It's sitting a little taller than I think I want. For example, like I'm 6'1", and I mean this thing is way taller than I am. The front we have Skyjacker 8-inch XJ springs. We spoke with Skyjacker and they said that they thought because of the weight of the V8 and just the Grand Cherokee weighs more, that an 8-inch XJ spring would put this at about 6 inches of lift. I have no clue if it is or not. All I know is it's a little tall. I have 8-inch XJ springs in the front, 4.5-inch XJ springs in the rear. It would be cool if we could just lower it like 2 inches maybe. So I might do like a 6-inch XJ spring or something, just because I think a lot of people lift these really high because they don't want to cut a bunch of stuff. I'm not concerned with cutting a bunch of stuff. I'm going to cut out everything that I can and replace it and, beef up what needs to be beefed up because I cut it out. So yeah, that's that. But I mean, for right now, it's going to work. It's sitting on its own weight. Everything's pretty much hooked up. I got the steering hooked up. What I ended up having to do was I've got a Rusty's tie rod. Theirs was just the cheapest on the market. And then I'm actually just using a bone stock JL drag link. So the JLs have this little pin right here, and I drilled that pin out to where I can twist this tie rod end way further in than it typically goes. And then I reamed out the pitman arm. It barely works. The steering wheel isn't 100% centered. It's like an 1/8 inch off of center, but it is so close, and I really don't know another option. Beth's gonna help me bleed the brakes right now. Then I'm gonna do like power steering fluid. Got to fill up the transfer case with fluid. So yeah, I think we're gonna try to get all that stuff done, and then try to take it for a drive around the block and make sure nothing falls apart. So let's do this thing. You hold that right there by chance? It's not dirty. It's not heavy. Just hold it up so it don't hit anything.
Or you're just tired? You're doing great. Look at you. You don't need the gym. Good.
This bolt is way too long. It's the only one I got laying around.
What happened, Connor?
Hmm.
Your chest looks funny.
My
Not a
ribs.
good angle.
That's my ribs. So we had big aspirations of driving it. And I decided we were going to bleed the brakes first because that's the most annoying thing we had to do. And we put brake fluid in the reservoir, had Bethany start pumping it, and all 4 calipers started leaking. And I don't really know why. I checked the banjo bolt and those are all tight. It's seemingly like leaking from behind all of the like brake line ends. I don't have JT brake lines hooked up to the calipers. I have JK in the rear and like TJ, ZJ in the front. And that's the only thing I could think of that would maybe make that happen. And it's really just kind of taking the wind out of my sails because if it is a problem with the lines, we're not driving it today. So it's kind of like, dang it. But
It's okay.
we can do some other things to pretty much have it ready just to swap the brake lines over when we get those new lines or we figure out what the problem is. But yeah, it just kind of stinks because I was like, heck yeah, we're going to be able to drive it today and everything. And I don't think that is going to be the case. So yeah, we will
Figure it out.
live to fight another day. Okay, so we're bleeding the power steering, and I've done pretty much all the bleeding I can do with the vehicle off, so now I got to turn it on so the pump will turn over. This will be the first time I've started the Jeep in like 2 months, so, and I've cut the muffler off since then, so it's probably going to be ridiculously loud. So here we go.
No.
Battery not too dead.
Yay!
It's so loud.
Yeah, but it started! Woo! Look at that belt running. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so excited. It may not be rolling yet, but at least it started. Yeah, it's pretty loud.
It's so loud. Oh my gosh. I think looks good.
Look how dusty.
Cross off T-case fluid and bleed power steering fluid.
Hey Connor, what's the goal?
Oh.
New goal. You have to share what happened.
So, turns out I'm an idiot
No.
and I can build an entire Jeep and weld everything and I know how to do all this stuff, but I don't know that a banjo bolt has to have a copper washer on one side and the other side. So I just had one copper washer on my banjo bolts, and that's why they all 4 were leaking. I went to work And I was talking to the guys, and I was like, yeah, like it was leaking. And they were like, well, did you put both of the washers on there? And I was like, no. And they were like, well, did you have any washers left over? And I was like, yeah. They were like 4 of them left over? And I was like, yeah. And so, yeah, I fixed that. I think everything's looking good. Can get this rear drive shaft put in now because I got some hardware for it. I got some really big, beefy drive shafts from Adam's Drive Shaft. They hooked me up with a front drive shaft, a rear drive shaft, and they even hooked me up with these new yokes, which was super cool of them. I'm going to get the rear drive shaft and we're going to get it installed. So this is our Adam's drive shaft for the rear. It has got 1350 joints on each end. They're out of Vegas, and they literally had these to me within it was like 2 or 3 business days after I ordered them, which is super cool because these are like totally custom. So I'm going to get these put in. All right. Again, we had high hopes of driving it, and we're not going to drive it because I'm dumb again, and I measured my drive shaft at full droop. Basically, it was so drooped out that it was like really far from the transfer case, essentially. So I measured it. It's like 1.5 inches too long because the suspension is never going to actually be able to droop that much because I measured it before I had shocks hooked up or anything like that that would actually limit it. Not Adam's fault at all. They made it exactly the way I told them to make it. So.
Oh my gosh, it's rolling. Wow. I cannot believe this thing is rolling out of here. It hasn't rolled out of here in months. Wow. It's out of the garage. Everything okay? This thing is a hoss. Wow, babe. It's out of the garage. Oh my god.
All right, so that's going to wrap up this video. We got the Jeep running, driving. We drove it around the neighborhood a couple times. It's stopping. Nothing's puking fluid, so that's good. It's working like it should. So next video, we're going to be getting really, really close to wrapping it up. It's definitely not going to be finished. Like there's still going to be some things that need to be done, but we're going to be pretty close. So as you can tell, it's not here right now. This is my wife's car. It's actually at paint right now. So I'm getting some things that we put on it painted. I'm getting some things that were, needed some touch-up done. So it's going to look really good, and I'm super, super pumped to see what it looks like when I go get it. Hopefully it's going to be ready in a couple days. So yeah, that's going to be the next video, is we're going to be getting it. You're going to be able to see what it is going to look like, for the majority of its life. And go ahead and tell you, since this video, I've lowered it a lot, and I've added a couple aesthetic things and things like that to make it look even better. So I'm super excited. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you guys in the next video.